Colombo, the 9th of May, AsianTribune.com, shame, shame. Puppy shame. The good, old nursery rhyme has begun to echo across the land, with President Maithripala Srisena's image taking a knocking after his two aides were arrested with their hand in the till, and he finding embroiled in controversies from his past and the present. How the two worthies, Mahanama and Dissanayake, became his lieutenants remains unclear. The president has chosen to remain silent, deepening the mystery further. And Maithripala Srisena has lost the moral high ground he has sought to occupy by milking the bond scam the central bank finds itself embroiled in. One of the presidential aides on the firing line is Dr. IHK Mahanama. He was earlier secretary to the Ministry of Lands and Parliamentary Reforms. And the other is chairman of the State Timber Corporation, P. Dissanayake. Both gentlemen are in the bribery police net on the charge of demanding and accepting a huge bribe for giving a go-ahead to a stalled Indo-Singaporean venture. Mahanama has been arrested after a sting operation by Bribery Commission. So was his accomplice Dissanayake. Both arrests were made on the 4th of May at the car park of a Colombo hotel, while accepting SLR 20 million from an Indian businessman as the first tranche of the bribe. Another 80 million rupees $507,600 was to be paid once the mission was over and the company got its clearances to go ahead. Intriguingly, just when the Bribery Commission was interrogating these worthies, came orders from President Sirisena's office for interdicting them forthwith. The order has sparked off speculation whether there is a move afoot to gag Mahanama and Dissanayake from squeaking and spilling the beans. According to the Public Service Commission rules and financial regulations in force, when an official is arrested she stands automatically interdicted or suspended from service, until such period of time the judicial proceedings against the person were completed. In the instant case, informed sources aver that the interdiction of two of President's lieutenants was an eyewash aimed at absolving the boss. President Maithripala Srisena has appointed a commission to inquire irregularities in the bonds issued by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka for 2015 and 2016. But the terms of reference of the probe do not appear to be in conformity with the rules and regulations of the Commission of Inquiry Act. Moreover, the 10-point probe term was in essence a fact-finding mission. The Commission has not been mandated to find out contraventions of law, it has been asked to find out only irregularities and lapses in procedures. So what will happen to the probe report is, and when it comes in? Expert view is that the probe findings would trigger a new round of litigation even as they do not hold water. Gazetted on January 27, 2016, the Bond Scam Commission's main objective was to investigate and inquire into the management, administration and conduct of affairs of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka (CBSL). This was in respect of the issue of treasury bonds during the period from February 1, 2015 to March 31, 2016 and related issues. A provision on whether there has been misuse or abuse of power, influence, interference, fraud, malpractices, nepotism or any act of omission connected with corrupt activity is also seen. Despite flaws in the formation of the probe commission, President Maithripala Srisena took the opportunity to spike at his coalition partners by making a highly critical statement to the nation. The Cantail investor told me that the only person who listened to his grievance was former Finance Minister Ravi Karananayake. Rajiv Kirthi Tenakun, Executive Director Cafe, CHR. Naturally, therefore he should have come clean before the nation when two of his most senior officials were arrested. He did not for reasons that remain unfathomable. Mahanama was mired in controversies during his stint at the Ministry of Lands and Parliamentary Reforms. Such officials are better not taken as president's lieutenants, but Sirisena preferred him. The question is why. The arrested officials have stated that they had acted in collusion with a high-powered personality, according to reports in circulation. The authenticity of such confessions cannot be confirmed or denied. President's image has taken a beating, with some other issues surfacing as well. One, purchase of a vessel from Russia at a cost of over $100 million. As President Sirisena's high officials are being implicated in corruption, the vessel procurement too could raise stink. 2. When Sirisena was a cabinet minister, a political donation was demanded from the iconic Australian company, Snowy Mountains Engineering Company, SMEC, reveal company emails. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, the Australian Federal Police is investigating allegations that SMEC had bribed officials to secure a US $2.3 million aid-funded sewerage project in Sri Lanka in 2011. The company paid another donation, worth $1.8 million to Sirisena to get the contract of a World Bank-funded dam project in 2009, emails show, according to investigations. Though a heavy-duty steamroller was used to hush the allegations arising out of Australia, the country and the international community still awaits to hear from Maithripala Srisena and from the Australian Federal Police on the subject. 3. Another scam to hit the president's image involves Sirisena's daughter Chatharika and his brother Dudley Sirisena. Both have built luxury hotels along the periphery of the Parakrama Samudrava tank, ignoring environmental concerns. The tank is a natural asset and therefore deserves to be protected and preserved. While Dudley built his hotel during the last regime, Chatharika built her Theta Zarana Lake Hotel after her father became president. While President Sirisena is campaigning for Madhadatitha, an end to alcoholism, Chatharika's hotels stand for Madhadatitha. Free liquor is provided to drivers of buses who are transporting tourists to her hotel. Business interests. The nation expects the president and his family to set the ethical bar high for the people. In the absence of a reprimand to the daughter, Sirisena's public homilies against drinking and smoking remain empty words and invite ridicule. Now cut to Mahanama, Dissanayake saga. It is reported that they had settled for a bribe of 100 million rupees. At the time of arrest, they pocketed the first installment of 20 million rupees. Mahanama is the main suspect in the bribe scandal. He had retired 2 months ago from the Ministry of Lands and Parliamentary Reforms and found re-employment at the Presidential Secretariat as the Chief of Staff, a very powerful position in the government. His accomplice Joseph Dissanayake was appointed as chairman of the State Timber Corporation by Sirisena in his capacity as Minister of Environment. Known as Barpia among lawmakers over the past 2 decades, Joseph Dissanayake is said to be a past master of extortion. He has amassed considerable assets that range from 2 two-story houses at Gregory's Road, an apartment at Union Place, and 2 houses in Bataramala to 3 bars in Gampaha. Mahanama had allegedly obstructed the Indo-Singaporean joint venture that wants to invest $100 million in the defunct Cantail sugar factory. For some elusive reason, the project could not be revived yet. Timber Corporation Chairman Dissanayake had stepped in to end the stalemate. He approached the Indian businessman and reportedly assured him that he could strike a deal with Mahanama to help him to implement the Cantail project. Dissanayake confided that Mahanama, who had been at the Land Ministry over a long period, could influence the present Land Secretary to grant the businessman's wishes. It is learnt that investigators had not yet unearthed evidence to prove that the current Secretary of the Land Ministry was in any way aware of this deal. Initially, the bribery commission sleuths were reportedly reluctant to take up the sting operation merely on the basis of the complaint made by the Indian businessman. But they swung into action when the Prime Minister's office brought up the allegations against the two trusted lieutenants of President Sirisena. If the rumor of PM Ranil Wickremesinghe helping to reveal the bribe incident was true, we should honor and respect him for that, Minister Sarath Fonseca said in a statement. Sleuths started eavesdropping on every one of Mahanama and Dissanayake conversations. Breakthrough came quickly. Both had initially demanded 540 million rupees ($3.4 million) bribe from the Indian and Singapore investors, but later, after several rounds of negotiations, cut their fee to 100 million rupees $634,500. The trap was set for last Thursday, the 4th of May. After changing the venue of the transaction several times, the officials, who were very cautious, settled for the seaside hotel Taj Samudra. The sleuths briefed the Indian businessman extensively before he arrived at Hotel Taj Samudra around 4 p.m. He met Mahanama and Dissanayake at the lobby and had refreshments. The businessman told them his bag with money was in his car. So the three trooped into the hotel car park, all the while watched by 7 bribery commission sleuths. The money was on the backseat of the Indian businessman's car. It was neatly packed into 4 bundles of 5,000 rupees notes. Mahanama got into the car with a bag of his own, with his eyes wide open and arms outstretched. The Indian and Dissanayake stood outside watching his every move, keeping an eye on their movements from a distance were the sleuths. Mahanama touched each of the 4 bundles, felt satisfied that these were real rupees. He pushed 3 bundles into his bag without much effort. As he was stuffing the bag with the 4 bundle, the sleuths emerged from shadows. The game was over. Both Mahanama and Dissanayake were arrested and produced before a court which remanded them till May 9. The Mahanama-Dissanayake saga has besmirched the image of the President Maithripala Srisena. It is indeed a big blow to his public standing, ethically and politically. The repercussions will be felt for a long while. Sirisena appears resolved to brazen it out. Addressing the SLFP May Day rally at Chenkalady, Batikalawa, he said he would not retire from politics in 2020, when his presidential term ends. This is greed for power, thundered Tilvan Silva, General Secretary of the Janatha Vimukthi Peramuna (JVP). Addressing his party's May Day rally at BRC Ground, Colombo, he asked the president to leave. Whatever he says, the president is greedy for power. Now, he has finally stated that he will not retire from politics in 2020. I think if he is going to continue in this manner, he must leave, Tilvan Silva said. Asian Tribune, tweet.